today's debate is that the attitude of parents today is detrimental to the creative growth of their child. And I, from the Bavaria of Girls High School and College, stand here to firmly oppose it. With the advent of the 21st century, the mentality of the society has changed towards the children family. And the parents today have realized this fact, that each child has its own capabilities and talent. Today, they have become more broad-minded and are ready to accept the child's decision towards his own career. The parents today encourage their child to not only study, but they want to have an overall development. Creativity is an inborn talent, and not all possess this quality. The ones who have the special talent are blessed because they have been bestowed with the talent by the Almighty. And the parents have realized this, that they want their child to have exposure in every field. Not only parents, but the educational institutions today play a very active role in bringing out the creativity of the child. They provide opportunities to the students to interact with others and make the best use of their creativity. There are so many fields today, and the parents globally have a wider and a broader perception. Instead of pressurizing their child, they encourage him to live his life to the fullest and to choose a field which he thinks he can be best at. They provide freedom of choice to their words and helps him to make the best use of the creativity he possesses. Today, the youth is not only inclined towards becoming engineers and doctors, but they do choose fields like fashion designing, photography, colorists, and many more. And this is possible only because their parents have supported them with whatever decisions they take. A man's creativity is his identity. For example, the great poet like Rabindranath Tagore that the country has ever produced was known because of his talent of writing beautiful poems. The writers like William Shakespeare is famous because of his art of writing beautiful plays. We would have never got the pleasure of reading the beautiful poems and dramas if their parents would have not supported them. Hence, to sum up my speech, I would like to say that the parents today boost up their child's morale in creative fields as well, rather than burdening him with what the society will think of. Thank you.
I would like to question my worthy opponent. First, she said creativity is an inborn talent. I believe the Almighty is not partial. He gives everyone creativity, but the environment is responsible for bringing it out. Secondly, you gave the example of Shakespeare and said that what would have happened if parents would not support it. First of all, Shakespeare's parents never supported him. He was an outlaw, he ran from his house, and when he joined a troupe of theatre artists, that is where his creativity was. So, that is where the role of environment comes in, I believe.
Thank you for your question. But what do you think about Rabindranath Tagore? Okay, that was an exception if William Shakespeare wasn't supported by his parents. What about Rabindranath Tagore? And what about millions of other artists who are there, who exist and who excel and make singing and dancing and other extracurricular activities as their career? Sorry for the William Shakespeare part, I was not aware of it. What about the others who exist and still make a better career out of their creativity?
William Shakespeare still exists among us.
But there's another question waiting. Yes.
You said that creativity is inborn. So if you have a talent which is inborn, how can anybody else's attitude hamper the talent which you already have?
It's not hampered. My question again. My parents, their attitude would help me to inculcate in me the better side of my creativity and not hamper my creativity. The attitude of my parents would help me to bring out the best in and work.
Then you're saying that the parents are not supporting. I mean,
you mentioned the parents are not supporting. I said it's the parents' role which encourage a child to bring out the best in him by analyzing and making out that what he is best at.
Thank you. the esteemed judges to give in their valued judgment, it falls upon me to sum up this very complex debate. I must begin by congratulating the organizers of Josephest, because the very format of this debate has really impressed me. It discourages the rote learning of prepared speech. It has brought out the creativity of the students. They have thought on their own, and I think that is what is very important. Because information now is available at the click of a mouse. So what is education supposed to be doing? If all the information is right there, waiting for you, you only need to have that much of technical know-how as to how to run a computer. And that is where the idea of creativity comes in. Because what education should be doing is to arouse in each of us that creative spark. Now, as a couple of speakers pointed out, it often seems as though the education that we acquire goes against this creative spark. Shakespeare was mentioned, and so was Tagore. And these are people who had opted out from whatever education system was available to them then. So if within the portals of our schools we are making this kind of adjustment, if we are rethinking the role of teachers, students, the classroom format, the way exams are to be tackled and prepared, we are doing something for the future generations. And to that extent, I'm sure that this festival is a big step forward. The other issue which came up is the issue of parents. I teach the Elizabethan and Jacobean period in the English department, and there's a satire by Juvenal, the seventh satire, in which the parent is in fact saying exactly those things that we say about our children today. See, impolite, they are rebellious, they don't conform to what we think is right, manners or morals or ethics. And slowly, it is these rebellious boys and girls of today who become the conservative parents of tomorrow. It is true that many parents do try and live their thwarted dreams through the lives of their children. But what becomes essential for the child, what is essential for the child is the ability to break out of these confining constraints. What happens for a student, you see, as and when, whatever his parents' expectations may be, the marks, his attitudes, these are things which finally point to the career which he or she is going to choose, not necessarily what the parent fondly hopes the child is going to become. And lastly, when we were just discussing this with one of the judges, that when we look at creativity, it is not just confined to the creative arts. We have more reality shows, there's singing and dancing, and people are in a position to make a career out of it, which it was not possible to do in my time. But creativity is not limited to the performing arts. Unless you cannot think of new things, whether in science, or in business, or in commerce, there is no scope for any future progress. And that is where creativity steps in. How you think. I thank the Josephest organizers for having me here for this august function. And thank you very much for a very, very pleasant meeting.